Hello, I'm Monica the Creative Beast, and I am here today to share a story because I'm sure some of you have been curious about the dress. Many of you who have been following me for a while know that I studied fashion design and pattern drafting quite a long time ago. It was the mid to late 90s when I was a student at Los Angeles Trade Tech Junior College. And I've done a lot of work in costumes after that. And I now teach a sewing course online. I call it Sew Like a Pro, and I will provide a link for that down below. It's on my Teachable Platform Classroom. But I was pulling out this dress to use it as an example of a hand-sewn hem as an example for my online classroom, because I did all the sewing of that garment by myself. And this is how things worked when you were part of the fashion design program at Trade Tech. You were required to do all of your sewing for the 2 semesters, excepting the final senior student show. At that point, you could have as many entries in the show as you wanted, and you were allowed to farm out your sewing to other people or a small independent factory. I chose to enter 2 garments, and I did all the sewing myself. There were other classmates who had multiple entries. Some of them they sewed themselves, some of them they farmed out. And there was one classmate who had a design for almost every category. And we're talking about like sleepwear, loungewear, evening wear, which is floor length gowns, cocktail wear, which is around or above the knee, leisure. There was another category for this between season, between winter and spring, which is for people who travel. And for some reason, I just cannot remember the name of that season. It's a very short, like capsule season for people who travel in the winter to get away from the cold. And there's like special little collections that people will create just for traveling to warm climates. There was swimsuit category, office wear. I mean, there were a lot of categories. And one of my classmates had an entry in virtually every category. And what happened the night of the event is all the seniors were supposed to be in the front row of the auditorium during the runway show. Me and another classmate chose not to do that, so we were sitting at the back of the auditorium, which we were not supposed to do. And during my 2 years at Trade Tech, there were a couple of classmates, men, all of them, 2 guys named Dean and 1 fellow named Jimmy, and we would have these continual sewing challenges that people would vote on, very much like Project Runway. And they would always win, first place or second place with their designs. So I didn't expect to win anything at the senior show. So my dress was placed into the cocktail wear category. At the time, they had a category called Melrose because Melrose Boulevard used to be this strip with shops that was funky, kind of avant-garde, new stuff. And I felt like my dress was a little funky, a little different, because I had a lot of historical references that I liked to pull from because I really loved fashion history. So, and I've gone to the Renaissance Fair a lot, so you can kind of see a lot of that with the lace up in the bodice here and the pannier on the sides and the bolero, and it's a halter top dress. So my dress was put into the cocktail wear instead, and the 2 deans and the Jimmy, they all had something in cocktail, and 2 of them had something in evening wear. So I just figured they were going to win. But as they called out the 3rd place and the 2nd place, and then they called my name for 1st place for this dress. I could not believe it. I ran screaming down the entire aisle of the auditorium to get to the stage. My other entry is a suit, and that won 3rd place. And it was all for the spring season. So I was using some very springtime colors. And one of my classmates who had an entry in virtually every category didn't win a single thing. And I felt a little badly, but I'm very proud of my wins. This won a gold thimble. That's what the senior show was called, the Gold Thimble Award and Senior Show. It won a gold thimble. My suit won a bronze, and I'm very proud of them because I did all of the sewing myself. I designed the patterns. I cut it, I sewed it, I did a lot of hand sewing work on it that I'm very proud of. So I was really excited to win an award for each item that I had submitted after a whole 2 years of not even placing in the usual student categories. And what makes these wins even more special is that all the garments were on display at the California Mart, which is a huge multi-floor building where all the fashion brand showrooms reside. So all of the designs were actually voted on by industry insiders. So that makes my wins even sweeter because people in the industry felt that my designs and my work and my style was incredibly awesome enough to win awards. So, yay! So that is the dress. And I've posted it on Instagram, and some of you have seen it and have been excited and loved looking at it. So I thought I would share the story, and it's just easier for me to tell the story than it is for me to write it in a post on Instagram. So that's the story of my beautiful dress, and I made a little, bag to match. I actually wore it to a 10-year high school reunion. I don't know if I have any pictures of that. If I do, I'll share them one day. But that is my story of the dress. I designed it, I made the pattern, I cut it out, I sewed it all, and there's some really nice hand sewing that went into it as well. And I'm very proud of it. And even though I no longer fit into it, I keep it because it's a real treasure of work that I've done, that I've accomplished, that got noticed and awarded. So thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed my story. And if you're interested in my online class, I will leave a link for that. It's at my Teachable Classroom, the Creative Beast Playground. And the sewing course is called Sew Like a Pro, where I teach you a lot of hand sewing skills so you can fix and repair your own clothing without having to make that pricey trip to the tailor. And you can do your own garment repairs and alterations at home without even a sewing machine. And I also share a few hand sewing stitches for simple embroidery. That's a lot of fun and plays into the slow stitch movement that has been gaining a lot of attention. Hand sewing is really fun and relaxing. I love it. And so there you are. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you liked my story, and maybe I'll see you in the classroom at Sew Like a Pro. Thanks so much. See you next time.